All right, team. So today we are going to use a wall. I'm going to try to make sure that we have the best amount of wall view slash mat view possible. Um, I have two walls available, but that does not mean you need two. So try to press your heels and toes up against the wall that you are facing towards. Um, you will move away from the wall, just so you know. But let's go ahead and roll back and keep your hip maybe a little bit closer. So maybe even bend the knees when you roll back. So roll back so that way you can really keep pressing through the wall right there, and then lay all the way back until you're laying down onto the mat. Okay, so from here, keeping those heels nice and anchored, I want you to start with some really big rib cage stretches. So big inhale, lift the rib cage off the mat so my arms come underneath, and then exhale, pull it down. Inhale, lift the rib cage, and then exhale, pull. So as you pull that rib cage down, you're still reaching through those heels, through that wall. Big inhale, lift the rib cage, exhale, press. And if you don't have a wall, that's totally fine. Or you can just imagine with us. And reach. Good. One more big inhale, open that rib cage. Exhale, close the rib cage. Awesome. All right. So now from here, we're bringing the hands up. We are rolling up towards the wall. And I want you to lift the head and shoulders up just slightly. So that way your bottom face of the rib cage is on. And then I want you to walk your toes up the wall. Okay, so this might be low for some of you, but for most of us, since we have the wall in front of us, this gives us a nice pressure and length so that way we can keep our legs here for 100, okay? So inhale the arms and pump the arms up and down. Good, and exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, and inhale, and an exhale. So the whole time you're pressing through those toes, you are pulling in and up through that core, all the way through that rib cage, and hopefully that helps you feel like you can lift your shoulders a little bit higher. And an inhale, and exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, and inhale, and an exhale. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, and exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Here's 3 more. So it's super important that you keep pressing through and pulling up so that way you can actually find that warm up in the abs. Good. And last exhale, 2, 3, 4, and rest the head and shoulders. Walk the feet back down so that way your heels are up against the wall. And if it's not, go ahead and scoot down so they are. Okay, so moving along, generally in the same pattern. Hands will lift up to the ceiling or even far behind you for the roll up. Inhale here, look towards the belly button, look towards your toes, press through those heels. So you're pushing down and out, and then roll up. Bend the knees so you can come all the way forward and you can keep your heels attached to the wall. Then peel away. Round, 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 reach, reach, reach. Keep reaching to those heels. Like I scooted back just a little bit too far there, and round it down. Good. So you have a total of 10. Inhale here, exhale, curl, slight bend to reach, press, and long. If it so happens that you happen to walk your hips back too far where you just have the toes up against the wall, that's okay. Try to keep as much connection as you can as you press through and press back into that rib. You know, a lot of repetition here, a lot of the same words, but making sure that you can actually feel the push and the pull. You want both to help you work out here. And reach, press, and release. Out and over, reach, and tall. Good. So even though this is 10, take your time through it. Really feel like you can articulate all the way up and all the way over. And round. Reach, 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 long, long, long. And up, last 2. And release. Good, last one, take it away. Curl it up and curl it over. All right, so from there, my heels kind of walked away, so I'm gonna go ahead and scoot my hips forward one more time. Press the heels into the baseboard and then lay back down. All right, so from here, we're gonna do a quick little 5 each direction, one leg circle. So just take one leg up, take it around the body, try to reach that wall beside you if there is a wall beside you, and then come over. But don't knock your foot into it, hopefully. I just want you to graze the wall and be in control of where that leg is. And after 5, reverse. Take it out, sweep it in, lift up. Around 2, lift. 3, lift. 4, reach. 5, around town, 6. Oh, 6, that's enough. And pull that leg in. Okay, we're just getting in the groove, guys. Okay, take it over. No, to be honest, I was a little selfish. I was thinking about, I was like, today's Cinco de Mayo, huh? It's my dad's birthday, so I should probably let him know that I remember it. And it's gonna be nice outside, so I'm gonna spend a lot of time outside in the garden and walking and just getting some sun. Reach and out. Last 2 and 1. Perfect. All right, so from here, we'll roll over. We are switching directions. So we are going to bring the feet to the middle of the room side and our head down to the wall side. So this one's gonna be a little tricky. We'll have some adjustments to go through. Ideally, if you can have your hands behind you with a slight elbow bend, that'll probably be the best. If not, straight elbows. So definitely not anything closer than just a slight elbow bend, okay? From here, we will move the hands down beside you on the floor. Go ahead and press, well, I have an option. You can start with knees and tabletop, or you can start with the legs long, just depending on how your back is feeling today. And then either press the legs out or lift them up, and then reach overhead. So notice my hip is pretty well pushed out that way, and my whole foot's on the wall. So hopefully you can do that. You can also walk your feet up to bring your hip higher. So let you choose. If that just feels super crunchy on your neck though, go ahead and scoot down a little bit more. So that means having an arm from your fingertips away, okay? So whichever is your fancy, go ahead and try both of them and see which one you prefer for your neck and your shoulders. I find people like them in different ways. Okay, so once you're here, just go ahead and stretch one leg up at a time. So one heel is flat, one toe is reaching, and that hip is lifting to the ceiling. Now, if this starts to be too much pressure on your shoulder, just come on down when you're ready. And I'm gonna walk it out for about 3 more each side, and up. And if you're just feeling super flexible and you can walk your toes down to the floor, oh man, do that. And get a little split. Walk your toes down and split. Good, last one each side. And lift. Good. Bring the legs together wherever you are, pressing the arms into the floor. Roll down. Ta-da! Nice. Okay, so that's going to be our rollover variation. It's kind of nice for whenever you just really need a tactile cue behind you. It's also very reminiscent of kind of our legs and straps, that amount of stretch that you get in the lower back. So keep that in mind if you want that one for later. From here, we are going to skip rolling like a ball, rock up to sit, and just turn around. Okay, so now we're back facing the wall. Now we'll continue into our regularly scheduled programming of our ab series. So, sorry, my hair's all over the place. This one, let's be a lot closer. So bring your toes to the edge and your knees are bent pretty high, almost shoulder height. Then from there, go ahead and rock back onto your shoulder blade rib cage. Extend one leg out to touch the wall, ideally around eye height or higher. And your other hands are holding that leg into your single leg stretch. So as you pull that knee in, you're pushing that toe away, and then switch and switch. So just press and push. Good. So the emphasis is on that push. Maybe there's a little toe push off, so that way we can alternate legs. There you go. I almost forgot my words. And push. Good. Push. Reach and pull. Reach and pull. So now that you have that rhythm, just tap and go, tap and go. Last 2. And last 1. Good. And then rest the head and shoulders. So ideally, when you're pressing into the wall, this helps you lift up a little higher since there is something actually holding your leg up versus you and your hip flexors having to hold it up. This gives the upper abs an opportunity to work more. Whether they take it or not, I know it's up to y'all. Okay, hands on shins, lift the head and shoulders up for a double leg stretch. Go ahead and press the feet lower towards the wall and lift the shoulders and torso up. Swim the arms around, pull the knees, come back home. So very similar, just aim lower. So that way you can press into the wall, lift the head and shoulders up, circle the arms, pull the knees in. It's gonna feel a little funny, but once you find the height that's right for you, then you can just press and lift. It's like magic. Who invented all this physics? I don't know, but it's cool. And out and release. Inhale, reach and reach. Swim. Oh yeah, up and then swim. And then come right back home. Good. Press, lift, reach, and release. There's 3 more. Out, lift, hold, and home. And last 2. Good. Last 1. Press, reach, and a swim. In and around. All right, so I'll adjust my hips a little bit back, closer to where my knees are high, and then we'll move into scissors. Okay, scissors. Very similar to our first one. Leg stays long, toe is higher than eye height and head height. Both legs are straight. The leg closest to you, we are pointing that toe behind you. Point, point, and then switch. Point, point. Good. Try not to run into the wall. So you're not throwing your leg on this one. You are just switching it in the air, having a nice control as you pull, pull, and switch. Pull, pull, and switch. Pull, 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 pull. Reach, reach, and back. So hopefully you can get a little bit of lift when that toe hits the wall and have that upper ab opportunity. And reach, reach, and pull, pull. Good. Last 2 each side. And last 1. And a reach. Good. Bring the legs down and just roll the ankles around for a second. Okay, for the lower lift, nothing's fancy here with the wall, unfortunately. It just kind of acts as a guide. But what you can do is to go back a little bit so your roll up length, so that way you just make sure that you have enough space to go as low or as high as you and your body want to. Okay, so bring the hands underneath the hip. Go ahead and lift the head and shoulders, and then look towards the toes. All right, so if not already, bring those heels together, lift them up, and lower them down. So no funky rhythm today, just a nice cool set of 10. There's 3, and lift 4. Reach, tall 5, and 6. Good. Long 7. Try to lift up a little higher, and reach. Lift up a little higher in the shoulders. 9. And 10. Good. Let them rest all the way back down. Rest the head and shoulders. Take the hands out and away. Okay. Here, crisscross. I don't want you to worry about the distance either, but maybe scoot down just a little bit because the leg, thankfully, we know can already get to the wall. All right. Hands go behind your head. We are lifting the knees. So this one, if you do want to use more of that wall so you can add that lift, go ahead and just keep the hands behind your head the whole time and not worry about twisting. Just press and then lift. Press and then lift. But if you want to add that twist, be my guest. Take it up and over and lift sideways. Twist, reach, and lift. Twist, reach, and lift. Wherever you are, do 10 each leg. So if you count all those beginning ones, you can definitely keep going. I'm going to say this is my 4 and this is my 5. Reach up and over. Reach up and over 6. Good. Lift through that shoulder. Use that toe on the wall and out. And reach. Good. Here's 8 and 8. And then 9. So just both staying here. 9. Last one. 10 and 10. Yeah, awesome. All right, so go ahead and rock up to sit. Now we will be having our back on the wall. And so your hip is as close to it as you can be. So really feel like you're on those sit bones rather than your actual tailbone. So we're up and a little higher, almost leaning forward for a second. And then, well, it's kind of cold. And then I want you to anchor your sacrum, both hip bones. I want you to anchor this top rib cage and the shoulder blades. There'll be a little bubble, it's okay. And then the back of your head, that occipital bone right there. So that way you're nice and tall. So right there, Feel like you're pressing into the tailbone or sit bones, and that you're pressing the ceiling up with your crown. So, like if someone was trying to measure you, so how tall you were, you really wanted to make sure you were as tall as can be. So you're lengthening up and down to that spine. Now from here, before we start using our arms or doing anything crazy, I want you to lift or peel your head off of the wall to look down towards your floor, but keep your shoulder blades on the wall. Now from here, as your head goes more forward, now begin to round your shoulders forward, but keep that rib cage down. So just the shoulders. Good. Now keep that roll going. So now you can kind of press into that low curve of your spine, and almost there, until that waistband of your pants is the only thing that's left on the wall. And then from there, go ahead and pull in and up towards that rib and lung cage, oh my gosh, rib cage and lungs, as you roll back up towards the ceiling. Lung cage, it's basically a lung cage. I don't know why they call it a rib cage. It's a cage made out of ribs, but it protects your lungs. Okay, no one asked me. Here we go, round over. Just the head first, just the shoulders second. Then the ribs start peeling off with the shoulder blade. That low spine curve now gets to flatten, and we're rounding forward until just the waistband of our pants are on the wall, and then roll it back up one segment at a time. Nice and tall, nice and tall, nice and tall, and hold. Okay, now go ahead and pull those toes towards you. Hands are out on a shelf, trying to maintain the height of where your arms are. Continue that roll over. So just the crown, now the shoulders, now the ribs, but press that low rib cage into the wall. So you should really flatten out that curve right here. And then continue on until just the pants are left. And then we'll peel everything back one at a time. So I just kind of like this because it makes you feel, or it makes me feel really tall when I come back. And that's what we try to mimic whenever we don't have the wall. So inhale here, exhale, crown first, shoulder second, ribs and shoulder blades all the way through, and then pull it back. So you can tell like this one's not as far because I'm asking you to keep that waistband on the wall. Here's one more. But naturally, whenever we do not have a wall and I do not limit you to keep your waistband anywhere, we get to reach farther. So just remember this feeling of pulling back through that rib cage to flatten out that small lumbar curve. Okay, good. So that's plenty of that. We won't do any of the saw here, but we will do open leg rocker. And I think you'll have some fun with this open leg rocker variation. All right, so I'm going to be probably my knee width distance away from the wall once more. We are going to go ahead and support the legs underneath the knees. I'm gonna walk forward actually. I realized I was a little bit shorter than I wanted it to be. All right, and then take the legs up onto the wall. So right here, with my hands underneath my ankles, this is a little low, but this is too far forward than what I really normally would come. So then that makes me know that I will probably scoot forward a little bit for me and my body. I wanna be tall, like where I would be in my normal open leg rocker balance. Okay, so what's good about this is we can just work through the toes and just kind of push off the toes, rock and land, rock and land. So just using the feet, rocking and rolling. Make sure you're not doing what I did in the very beginning where I kind of push my head back. Don't do that. Just push through the toes and come back home. Your toes and calves have plenty of strength to push you away from the wall all by yourself. Okay, so now you can either stay in this little rock back and forth position, or you can go full tuck under, rock up, hold, stop short of the wall, or use the wall as a catch point. This is why I think this one's really fun, because if you're going back and forth and you really need some help to just catch yourself, use it. Totally cool. All right, so here we go. Lifting the spine, lifting the feet, and tuck. Roll, lift, either hover or catch. We have 4 more. Take it back, take it up, ooh, and hold. Got a little cricket there. Long, lift, reach. Last one, out. And oh, hold, good. All right, so go ahead and bring your feet together. Good news is you can reach as close to the wall as you can here. Point the toes through the wall, roll the arms and body away from the legs. Okay, now that they're on the wall, we'll just use that as our guide for our corkscrew. So hands will be underneath slightly, and then our legs will come straight up to the ceiling, over towards the right, down towards the wall, over towards the left, and then center. Let's reverse. Left, just graze the wall, and center. Out around town, and lift. Reach. Good. And over. Reach. Lift. Away. And tall. Here's 4 more. Each side, I should say. And out. Good. 3. Lift. Out. This is 2 more each side, really making sure that you are actively pressing through both legs. And then last one left is out around town and center. Good. All right, so from here, we're going to rock up to sit. There's a lot of change back and forth with this wall situation, but it's okay. It is okay. So we now are facing the wall. Your crown is towards the wall. Legs are straight. And then our hands are going to press our body away. So kind of scoot back so that way you have enough of where your palm is reaching the wall out in front of you. And then go ahead and look down towards the floor. All right, so I want you to walk your hands up as high as they can go, but keep your, don't feel like you're lifting your body up, I should say. So keep your heart anchored onto the floor. Palms are just reaching to the wall in front of you. Okay, now from here, actively press through those palms. So if you're too far away, scoot forward or whatnot, but make sure your whole palm can be on the wall. Press away from the wall and hold. Keeping the tops of the feet down, pressing the wall away. Now lift the heart and shoulders up and bring it back down. So this is a relatively small motion. Think of this as similar to our serratus push-up, but not really, because we're pressing forward and we are shortening the lat muscles. So the muscles underneath the shoulder and shoulder blade, well, shoulder and rib cage, I guess you could say. So lower and then lift. Perhaps you might need to bring your hands a little lower too to feel like you can have enough range without pinching the front part of your shoulder. There's way too many shoulder words going on. And lift. Good. Last one. Press into the hands, lift, and release. So ideally, that's putting some pressure on here, but not a terrible amount of pressure where you can't feel like you can connect in this lat muscle. We can talk about that more as necessary. So now, that's going to be all we're using the wall for. The next one, I want just hands underneath your shoulders like a vanilla swan, lifting the head and shoulders up, lifting the hands up, holding the body up, and we're just going to hold here for 10 seconds. Keep looking down towards the floor and hold that spine up, and then melt the spine back down. Reset, 1 more just like that. Press into the hands, press up through the heart and chest, hold the hands off the mat, breathe, and release. Good. Sit back in a small child's pose if you need to, and all that goodness. Okay, so now here's where we kind of bend from mat to Cadillac, and I think it's my favorite part of the day, but it could be your not so favorite part. So I won't try to dwell too far on it, but we will get pretty close. Okay, so you see this? I'm getting like extremely close to the wall. So get as close as you can to your wall. And then we are laying back so that way your feet are parallel and flat on the wall. This is probably just slightly more acute than a 90-degree angle. This is mostly why more real world to my bridge that I do on the floor. So if you have or you need more knee bend, less knee bend, you can adjust just by taking your feet lower or higher. Here's where it's going to start. Hands will be on the floor, pressing through the whole foot. So not just the heels, the whole foot. I want you to lift the hips up. So it should be like a medium bridge. Like you shouldn't be able to push all the way up without lifting the heels. I want to keep the heels down right now. And then roll back away. Unless your legs are just way up here, then you probably can. Because that's a whole different story for me. Okay? And so roll it back. Try to keep it as acute as possible right now. And then just curl up and hold and release. Making sure that all 10 toes, all the heel parts are on. Good. Just one more for that warm up. Lift and lower. All right, so now we are going to have the feet more narrow. So it does not matter what the height is or your start is, we are going to walk the legs out, so just be prepared for that. Feet are narrow, lift the hips and hold. Good, walk the feet up towards the ceiling as far as you can. So reach, reach, reach. Now from there, trying to keep that hip lifted still. If you need your hands underneath it, totally support it. Walk the feet back, but keep the hip lifted and be as far under as you can. And then we'll probably have to put the heels back down, yep, as you roll through your spine. Very good. So we'll have 5 just like that. Take it at your own pace. Lift the hips, walk the feet away and up, and reach, and then walk it down. Taking your time, making sure you're not slipping. I wore some little gripper socks today, and I know I didn't really tell y'all about it, but but usually feet in socks or feet barefoot are just fine for this. Okay, and then bring it down. And roll. Good. Hopefully you're still keeping your feet narrow, because that was the goal, but I understand if you've had to walk it wider. Good. Keep pressing into those triceps as well. And down. Good. Here's your last one. Pressing up and narrow, walking up to the ceiling and walking back down. Good. And rolling through the spine. Okay, so hopefully you've gotten a nice little warm up with those inner thighs and those first initial bridges. What I'd like to carry on now to flips into Cadillac land, which is the press up and the high scissor. So when you're ready, feet can be hip distance apart or wider as necessary, pressing the forearms and triceps into the mat, bridge up and walk into a nice straight leg. All right, now from here, really feel like you're anchored into the arms, anchored into one leg. I want you to press into one leg, pull one leg towards your nose, and really reach back. So pulse, pulse, and then come back home. Just tap the other foot and go pulse, pulse. Tap that foot, lift, lift. Good, reach, lift, lift. Awesome. So make sure you have all 3 points of contact, both arms and that leg. Pull, pull, and reach. Pull, pull. Make sure you cross the ankle to reach the other foot. Pull, pull, and reach. Pull, pull. Reach. Last 2. Lift, lift, and long. Lift, lift, long. Good. Go ahead and bring the other foot down. If you want to just roll your bridge down with straight legs, that's available too. I meant to mention that earlier. So when you're ready, we are switching legs. Bridge the hips back up. Walking nice and tall. Stabilizing into the leg that was moving now. Once again, if you need to support your hips, that's definitely available. And then when you're ready, arms and leg, pull, pull, and switch. Pull, pull, and tap that toe. Reach, reach, and tap. If this is terrible at the straight leg, I meant to mention earlier too, you can also, besides holding your hips, you can also just keep that knee bent, pull, pull, and switch. You won't get the same kind of across the leg, but it is definitely an option. Good, so I'm gonna go back to straight leg, pull, pull, and reach. Last 3, pull, pull, 2, pull, pull. Last 1, reach, reach. Good, and then I'm gonna walk my feet down this time to roll it back. Good, so just kind of shake the legs out, the ankles. I know it's a little funny having all the gravity pulling down onto your leg, whereas normally you're getting a lot of blood flow down and into your feet and all the things. So they might feel a little loosey-goosey or whatnot up there. So just shake them out. Okay, so we have one more. As we bridge and walk to straight legs, rather than scissors, it will become a bicycle. So ideally we'll have 5 bicycles forward and then 5 reverse. Awesome, okay. So like I said, remember all the modifications. Hands can support hips. Instead of leg being straight, they can be bent, whatever's better for you. Okay, here we go. Press up, hold, lock out. One leg comes towards your shoulder and straighten that leg. Go over. Good. Bend and reach. There's my leg and over. So just 5. And there's 3, 4 maybe. And here's my 5. Now reverse that bicycle. Bend, lift, and in. Long, around. 3, 4. Keep pressing that hip to the ceiling. And 5. If you need to come down to stretch for a second, go for it. If you want to just stay there and go into the opposite leg, you are welcome to. 2, and reach. 3, and long. 4. Try to keep that knee in your training track. And yes, good. So don't just let it be free to do whatever it wants. Still lead it. And here's 3, and reach. 4, and 5. Good. And then walk it back down. Awesome. Okay, so I know that's a lot of weird stuff upside down, but it's fun. It's my favorite kind of stuff. Okay, so taking a nice little tick-tock side to side, maybe even a figure 4 if you need it. And then from there, go ahead and rock up to sit and reset the hips. Okay, so in this situation after bridges, we all this, spinal flexion, blah, 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 blah. But we're gonna move on to our side lying series, just because I think I talked a little bit too much right there. I'm sorry. Okay, so from here, for our side lying series, you can definitely prop your head up into your hand like normal, or you're welcome to press through the wall with that arm and just rest the side of that ear onto the arm as well. I like this one if you have a wall available, since this is taking you off of your balance just a little bit more. So this would be almost equivalent to being up here on your elbow, basically, because you're pressing. So my arm's not on the floor, by the way, because your arm is pressing out, creating energy and length long in front of, or above you, technically, while the leg moves this way and that. So whatever you want to choose. I'm going to have this one, but with my supporting hand in front of me. Top leg is lifted, pointed or flexed, does not matter today. Just go ahead and bring that toe forward towards your nose and back. If you can, if they're at wall, I don't have a real wall right there, I just have a window. But if you can reach that heel to that back wall and can press on it, it activates that glute a little more, and then sweep the foot forward, you'll get just that much more. So press into the wall and forward. Here's 3. And reach. I'm just gonna pretend for right now, and 4. When I switch sides, I'll definitely be able to do that, and you can see it. And out, reach. So say you, whenever we're on the other side, and we have the toe against the wall, that'll give us a nice waistline lengthening situation as well. And out, back. Good. 7, and reach. 8, and long. 9, out, last one, 10, and reach. Good. Rest the wrist and arm if you need to. If you were pushing through the wall, that's kind of a lot of stuff going on. When you're ready, go ahead and bring that hand back to the wall. Top leg will circle. So small circles for 5, 4, 3, 2, reverse. Press out around 1, over around 2, 3, 4, and rest. Good. Now from here, this top leg will cross over in front of the body. Go ahead and grab onto the inside of the ankle, or maybe just bring that knee down on the mat. All right, bottom leg is lifted. We are pulsing upwards to the ceiling for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and rest. I'm gonna have to roll around this wrist and arm for a second. Okay, seconds over. And then press it back up to the ceiling. Small circles here for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Reverse. Out 1, out 2, 3, 4, and release. All right, take both legs together. We will lift both legs up, bring both legs down. So this one, I'm going to change my situation because I think, oh, yes, I can. Okay, if I have this hand, I can do it. But pressing through the wall is not fun. Not as fun as I thought it'd be. Okay, so we're just lifting the leg for 10. So there's 5, and 6, 7, 8. Goodness. 9. Last one. Okay, that's enough of that. Awesome. Yay, we're switching sides. Okay, so I'll just have an imaginary wall that I'll be pushing into over here while I'm actually actively pressing into my foot wall here. Okay, so let me change all the hair situation around. My imaginary wall is set up. Okay, my bottom leg is slightly forward, so I'm not actually pushing onto the wall with it, just so that way when I sweep across, I have better balance for me on this side. Okay, so that's that consideration there. I'm kind of actively push to my elbow. Okay, leg is long. We are going to sweep forward toward your nose, back to the back wall. And like I said, that one's, okay, maybe a little far, perfect. But now I get to actively reach to that heel and press through my hip. So that way I stay long and all the way back and gentle thud. And reach and back. 3, good, lift, sweep, forward, and sweep, back, reach. And if you totally lap me on this, that's okay. I'm just making sure while I'm here to really stretch through that leg, really press through that wall and that hip socket, lengthening those external obliques, letting them go. Say thanks for doing your job. Inhale, exhale. Good, last 2. And 1. Reach. And at least it's not like a super hardcore thud like it was earlier. And rest. Top leg is coming back up for your circles. Small circle 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Reverse. Press up over 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Crossing that top leg over, holding onto that ankle and imprinting it down to the floor. Lift the bottom leg up. Lift for 10 pulses. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and release. Small circles around. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Reverse. 1 around, 2 around, 3, 4, 5, and rest. Okay, here's the big shebang now. Okay, let's see if I can trace my toes on the wall the whole time while pushing through this arm. Hopefully, should be easier. Okay, so you're lifting both together, up and release. 2 and 3. Good. 4 and 5. 6. Yeah, your hand on the wall is definitely harder. 7. This imaginary wall is super easy. 8, 9, and 10. Good. Awesome. All right, team. So that means we're still having our feet towards the wall as we lay back onto your back, and we will prepare for our teaser. Similarly to how open leg rocker was helpful in how we were catching ourselves onto the wall, basically, that's how a teaser will work today. If you don't feel like trying that, or if you want to stick with how double leg stretch got your chin and chest up a little bit easier, you can do either version. So here's what I mean by working in like our double leg stretch. So like our double leg stretch, our feet are already on the wall, hands are to the ceiling, looking forward towards your toes. We are peeling that crown up and up and up and up and up towards the ceiling as we roll into that teaser. Like, so if you don't want to do that one and you just want to use as a catch wall, have knees in tabletop, rock up to sit and catch yourself and then roll back down. If you don't even need the wall, use the wall. This is all about you right now. Inhale here, exhale lift. I'm gonna use the wall to catch because it's fun. Inhale here, and I just feel like I can sit taller. I can actually lift my rib cage off of my hips a little more. And you know, length is always a good thing. Tall and back. Inhale here, exhale, press, lift. Inhale, exhale. I could very well do the same thing if I kept my feet there the whole time rather than pulling them in and out to my body. Okay, last 3. And lift. Good. 2, reach. And back. Last 1. Reach and hold. I know my feet migrated on the way down, but it's because I was moving. So go ahead and stretch the hips out just a little bit. Make sure you've got some space. I know, it's quite hilarious. It's over here and it's up here. All right, so our back is up against the wall one more time. Doo-doo-doo. And same kind of seat. You're up onto the sit bones mostly. I don't know. I don't know about my hair, guys. Sorry. It is all over the place. But we are sitting nice and tall. As much of the back is on the wall as possible. And instead of having that feeling of rolling forward bone by bone, instead we are going to press the hands into the floor, and we are going to press into the heels and lift our hips up off of the floor. So you're pressing into those triceps. We're lifting the hip off the floor and then coming right back down. Not necessarily sinking into the shoulders, but just lifting the hands up off of the floor. So here we go. Press, lift, 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 and release. Don't feel like it's too bridgy, like we're not doing a tendon stretch. We are just moving heels into the floor, lifting the hip up, and release. There might be some slight hamstring lift as well, but don't feel like that's necessary. And I know it looks like I'm not doing anything at all, but I promise you my hips are coming up off of the floor. And press and lift. If I could do this one-handed and show you with lifting this hand off, I would. Inhale here, exhale, press, so just slide the crown up the wall is the goal, and then come right back down. Good, last two. Press into the floor, lift the crown higher, 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 and release. Last one. This is going to be in lieu of our swimming, so that another extension exercise. This is just keeping the shoulders, everything open and back. Okay, so now moving along, we are going to skip mermaid side bend, all that kind of good middle stuff, but we will move into our side lying series and then do some standing work into push-ups, planks, elephants of the lake, and some roll down exercises. Yeah. Okay. So that means move forward, out a little bit. We're going to bring your knee underneath you. Your opposite leg is standing nice and tall. And I want you to reach this top arm first. So this arm is probably going to be just a little too high for me. I kind of want more shoulder height. So that means I'm going to scoot out a little bit. So just vary it. Yeah, there you go. So, and the other foot is flat. And then maybe, just maybe, if you're feeling awesome, you'll take the other arm. So you're pressing to the wall. If this is terrible pressure on your knee, definitely go ahead and leave this hand down, but it will cause a little slide on your knee if you're not lifting enough from your middle abs here. Okay, so here we go. So we're holding the ceiling up. Our top leg is lifted and it's going forward toward your nose and back. Small forward, small back. Keep pressing through both arms. Good. I know it's a small range I'm doing. And last one, push and pull and hold. Good. Just lift and lower. Lift to the floor. Lift to the floor. Lift. And here's 3 more. 2 and 1. Good. All right, rest that knee for a second. Since I only have this wall, I'm just going to go ahead and turn around away from you, which I know might have to happen for you as well, but I know you can get through this. Okay, so align yourself up, I should say. Sign yourself up. Good time. And like I said, if you need to leave this bottom hand down, leave it down. Have no fear. All right, pressing to the wall, lifting that rib cage up. Top leg comes up, come forward towards your nose and back. Lift and lower. Reach and back. Whoa. Forward and back. Forward and back. 2 more. And 1 more. Good. Now lower that foot down. Lift the leg up. Lower, lift. Reach the floor, reach the ceiling. And 3 and 4. Good. 5. Reach 6, last 2. Lift and lift. Good. Press off of the wall so that way you're facing the mat. You can get a child's pose if you need to. Hopefully that wasn't too terribly aggressive on the shoulders, but just to make sure, roll the wrist around. Okay, so now moving up into our standing work. I'm gonna go ahead and move this camera up just a little bit because I think my head might be chopped off. Okay, so a little bit lower than shoulder height. Oh, my head's still cut off. Awesome. So, I mean, it's not like my head's super important right now, but you know, just for comfort. Hands are a little bit lower than shoulders, very similar to our swan on the mat. From here, your feet are back, hip distance apart. Heels can be lifted, heels can be lowered, whatever is better for your feet. And then from here, keeping the palms down, I want you to bend the elbows down towards the floor and hold. Good. Exhale, press away. And again. So bend and hold. So the elbows are pointing towards the floor and release. If you feel this is a little bit too easy on the shoulders, you can bring the hands up a little higher. If that's also helpful if that's too much for the wrist. Let's see, what other variation will you probably need? Also, if it's just too much weight, you can bring your feet closer to the wall, and that lowers how much a load is on your hands and elbows in general. So play around with how far away your feet are, and then continue on. So we're going to hold, bend and hold, and reach. So at least 2 seconds. So nice, good inhale and exhale. And then out. Exactly. Load the elbows, load the triceps, and release. Here's 4 more. And out. 3 more. Bend and hold. And release. Here's 2 more. And reach. Elbows are down, shoulders are in the back pocket. Last one, bend, hold, and press out and reach. Go ahead and let those wrists rest just for a second. Wrist rest. Nice little, I don't even know what that's called anymore because it's not alliteration because they don't start with the same thing. Oh, that's funny. I'll have to go back, ask the English doctor student what that is. Okay, so now one hand's down, one hand is higher. So we're staggered. So you can't really see it, but mine are about a foot away from each other. Now from here, it will be the same motion, that hold, but the elbows will go wide rather than down, okay? So here we are, elbows will go wide, we will press into the wall and press out of the wall. Inhale, bend, exhale, straighten. Inhale, bend, exhale, push. Good. So ideally, this will help us get push-ups on the floor that are very similar motion stronger because it's loading the same amount of shoulder, the same amount of angle at the elbow and wrist. I will say gravity is a little less forgiving though. So make sure that you can really work through this first before you can get into those nice, beautiful push-ups. And out. Good, last 2. And away. Last one. Inhale, reach and hold 1, hold 2, and out. All right, switch the height of the hand. So the opposite is now high, the opposite is now low. And then the elbows out wide. Big inhale. Good. And then press out and away. Here we are. Towards the wall. Hold, and push away from the wall. And into the wall. Yeah, better. And out. Good. Hold the wall up, and then push the wall away. Inhale, bend. Exhale, release. Just kind of look neutral. It doesn't matter really where your chin is as long as you're not stressing out your neck terribly much. If the wrists need a little bit of reprieve, you can turn the fingertips out or in, depending on where you're finding that tightness of your wrist. Okay, here's 3 more. And in, reach. Good, 2 more. Gosh, I don't know where my voice is going. And here's your last one. And out. Good, just push off of the wall, roll the wrist around, all that good stuff. Just make sure I have some time. Okay, I do. Now, moving into our standing wall. So standing wall comes from the traditional reformer workout ending for beginners. And you know, all levels can do that, but this is where it kind of comes from, which is interesting because it just helps that beginner student really find alignment and all the good things. Okay, so my feet are about 12 inches or so away from the wall, and we are standing our spine up against it. If you got to see our newsletter, you've seen a part of this. So where we'll start is having the hands down along beside you, slide down the wall. So you are trying to bring your seat toward your heels. Let's see, my shirt, I'm a little sticky right now, so I didn't slide as well. And the hands will go up. Usually I have some dumbbells to give to people for this. So as you slide down, you lift up, and then we're going to press into the wall, lift up. Okay, like right now, and Alex is a little sweaty. This isn't working so hot, so did not think about how sweaty I might be. As we lower, and as we lift. Okay, so sliding up and down. Notice that's not gonna be terribly awesome for Alex today. So if that's good for you, if you have a full shirt on, go ahead and do that. If not, let's just let's just take it away. Arms are now long beside you. Bring the chin towards the chest. I want you to round over as you bend the knees to curl into the body and round, 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 round as you just sink into that stretch. So letting gravity pull the shoulders down to the floor. Roll the thumbs in and out. So you open and close the arm, and then roll the spine back up, building it back and tall, 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 tall. Inhale here, exhale, curl, and just round with straight legs if you can. If your hip doesn't get in the way like mine just did. And then rounding, rounding, rounding. And then as you roll back, do bend the knees so that way your hip can kind of unlock first, and then come all the way back up to standing and hold. All right, so from here, bring your hands flat onto the wall behind you. Bring one leg, doesn't matter which one, back. So it's touching the wall. So from there, I want you to stand up onto that heel and just push yourself off of the wall. Ta-da! So you're nice and tall. Okay, so there's a lot more of that standing wall stuff, but that's all we really need at the end of a workout. Man, sorry for my hair, everybody. So yeah.